we're live. Well, let's just do it.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Right. All right. That was the Swan, a classical piece of music by, how do you pronounce it?
Sanson.
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 Yeah. You would know your French better than me. Well, whoever that is tuning in, this is Soujit. How do you pronounce your
Soujit, yeah, that's
no,
right.
No, I mean your
Ghosh.
Ghosh.
Yeah, like
Ghosh.
the French for left.
Oh, really? Is that it?
Well, it's not spelled like that, but it's
you're not a
pronounced
lefty,
like
though.
that. No, I'm not a lefty, though. Definitely not.
God.
Not in the 2%, but yeah, Soujit Ghosh, yeah.
Ghosh. Where are you from? Yeah.
So, I'm originally from India. In fact, Ghosh is a typical surname from Calcutta, which is where my father is from, in West Bengal. And so he came to the United Kingdom in the 60s, 70s, and that's where I was actually born and grew up.
Oh, okay.
So, by citizenship, I'm British.
So you're
but
not from
originally-
India?
Well, originally from India via Wembley. So, so yeah, I grew up in northwest London, and then lived in a few different countries. Very happy to be in Hong Kong now.
Okay. Well, I'm having this conversation right now with him because I have never actually met Soujit properly.
We haven't met properly yet.
Yeah, we're friends on Facebook. We sort of cross paths here and there.
I've seen a few of your gigs.
Yeah, but we really never really talked and found out anything about each other.
Yeah.
And so this is not a fake little interview that I'm putting up. This is me trying to connect with another musician, which is the theme of this series, the 2gather Tuesdays series, where I find somebody with whom I hardly ever play with or never even played with before, and I play with them, make music with them, chat with them, find out what they do, and well, that's a good gesture because I just remember I didn't tune my cello before I played that piece. And for a classical piece of music, that's a sin because intonation is paramount for classical music.
Sounded very nicely.
Yeah. But,
and thank you very much for inviting me. It's a real pleasure to be here this evening in your lovely studio. It's, as you say, it's really interesting to see it from this side after watching several of your live streams from the other side. So it's great to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, I'm out tune because we had a tune where I have to play the cello in a rather unconventional way, and it does make it quite out of tune as a result. But that's the last tune, so stay with us until the last tune and you'll find out what unconventional stuff I'm doing on my cello. Oh, by the way, you should share the post. Do you have
Yes.
the phone?
Yeah. I
So we
need
gotta-
to, me and my friend. I think
Yeah.
I'll temporarily put this down for a sec.
Yeah, I need to tune my cello anyway.
It's good for me to stretch my legs for a sec. Slow, but it will
Yeah,
get there.
make sure you can even start a watch party or something.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, right. I'm getting there.
Right.
Just getting into my. Okay, so I'm at your page, and then I've actually never started a watch party before, so I'm not quite sure how to do it. But maybe I could give it to your colleague. Oh, there we are. So let me share. So shared that, and then maybe do start watch party. Yeah, there's a button that does that.
Yes.
Brilliant. Technology, I love it.
Technology, yes, yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And then of course I'll
Turn on your phone.
Yeah.
Wow, that
Yeah.
sound of my cello tuning is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I might put it on airplane mode now. Now it should be okay to put on airplane mode. Right now I've launched it, so it should be good.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Well, let's do something nice and mellow so that we get warmed up again. The next tune it's considered classical music as well, but it's more, or maybe it's more tango, but it doesn't have a tango.
It's a milonga, I believe it's called. That's actually, it's strange, this word milonga, because it's used for the name for a gathering of the dance of tango, but it's also the style of music which, in the tango framework,
That's
which
true.
is slower.
True.
Yeah.
Well, it's the rhythm. It's a ding, ding, ding,
Hmm.
no, the milonga rhythm. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, I play a lot of tango too, but let's
Yeah.
not get into talking.
Yeah.
Let's play music.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, applause, applause. Of course, we couldn't hear anything. Well, that's it. That's the thing with live streaming. That's your first live streaming you've done.
This is actually my first live streaming where I don't also have a live audience. So I did a few gigs recently where the event was live streamed, but it's very different because you get the audience feedback right away with the live audience. But yeah, this is very interesting, very kind of self-reflective because you're listening to your own music without any distraction, but you know there's an audience out there.
Yeah, in a way, there's no distraction to me because I'm also running the studio, running the space. I'm constantly thinking about some of the technical stuff as well. So to me, it can be quite distracting.
It's a lot to juggle.
It's a lot to juggle indeed. And speaking of which, I think I need to just sort of relax a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a drink that
Cheers, Justin. Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers. This is over 18. This show is over 18.
yeah.
Hi, Duo Voce. Hello. They want a drink.
Oh. I can leave that down here.
Okay. Well, this is a drink.
Grab it quite often.
Called a cachaça. Should show that. Yes. It's not focusing on it. Come on, focus. Camera, focus. Yes. It's a very special drink for Hong Kong at least, because we don't find that here very often, and this is a very fine bottle of thanks to my friend in Brazil, and I was in Brazil last September and I picked this up. Nice. And they
very nice.
Gave this to me as a farewell gift, and it's very nice. It's nice and warm. I'm warmed up.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of warmed up for some Brazilian music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shall we do some Brazilian music?
Absolutely. I like the sound of that.
Yes. Hi Philip, cheers to my friend Philip. He's a violinist. He knows Felix.
Ah.
He knows your friend Felix.
Ah.
Felix Tam, the violinist. Yeah. Not your cousin Felix. Yes, Philip. So let's do some Brazilian music now that we had the Brazilian drink. Oh, that note just jumped out. That
Yeah, nice. I love the different sounds you can get out of the cello. Looking forward to hearing more different sounds coming out of that lovely instrument.
Yeah, well. So, what brings you to Hong Kong?
Oh, that's a good question. So let's see. I came to Hong Kong. Well, the first time I ever visited Hong Kong in my life was December 2000 when I came for work. I just graduated from university. And that's something we'll talk about.
I will talk about it in a bit.
So yeah, work flew me to Tokyo first and Hong Kong, and it was fantastic. I was working right in Central in the Chong Kong Tower, and it was just amazing to be on the 72nd floor of a building. I've never been on the 72nd floor of any building in my life, and seeing that view of the harbour was spectacular.
That's quite a job for a guitarist.
Yeah, so I guess I should. I have a side hustle working in finance, which I've been doing for the last few years or so.
It's only been a few years.
I guess 20 now.
20 now, yes.
Oh dear, kind of showing my age a little bit. But yeah, so that's what brought me to Hong Kong for a first trip, and I was enamored by the place. It's fantastic, unlike anything I'd ever seen growing up in the UK. And then I came to Hong Kong permanently for work in December 2006, and pretty much been there since, apart from a few digressions. I spent 2 years in Korea for work, but also got a chance to play some flamenco in Korea, which was fantastic. And then I spent 6 months in Spain, which was actually where the flamenco came from, well, in terms of the learning a little bit about it and getting into that culture.
So you've always learned the classical guitar?
Yeah, when I started playing guitar around the age of 10 or 11, and I started in classical guitar, which is not the obvious place to start, because most of my school friends were playing electric guitar or acoustic guitar.
Yeah, how are you going to get girls?
Yeah, exactly. It was a very underrated instrument. I think it still is, because it doesn't naturally fit into an orchestra, and it certainly doesn't fit into a rock band. So I just, it was just where I started my trade, as it were. But I think I think classical music is a great way to get into music in general, because it gives you a lot of tools to explore other things later on, like pop, jazz, or acoustic, or whatever else. So yeah.
Well, speaking of classical music and the starting point, the father of more sort of non-medieval classical music is what's the name? J.S. Bach. And we've got some J.S. Bach just for that.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'm playing this in a different key than usual, and let's see how that goes. I'm not going to jazz it up, but if I play any jazz notes, just pretend that I'm playing jazz. Let me tune again, because after all that strumming,
I think I should tune
as
well.
Yeah,
it's always the fun thing with stringed instruments under lights and AC. They have a life of their own.
Oh, hi, Vienne. That was Vienne, actually. Duo Voce is Vienne. Yeah, no wonder it looks so familiar. I've been on the channel before, and anyone else, check out Vienne's YouTube channel. It's called Duo Voce, and it's not pronounced Kian, it's Vienne, as I learned last week.
Oh, interesting.
She's a violinist.
Oh, lovely. I think it's the capo which is doing the distortion. Let me check my E string again. So the E is in tune now, but then I put the capo on, because I have to capo it here. And then, is that a bit sharp? I can take it down if I... Oh no.
It feels a little sharp.
Yeah, I'm taking it down a bit.
Hi Rainbow, thank you for the comment. Your name is Choi Hong. That means rainbow as
Yeah,
well.
Choi Hong.
So it's rainbow Chan.
Rainbow.
Double rainbow.
I like that.
Wow. Have you
Well-
ever seen a double rainbow?
I think I have once.
Oh,
I've
you
been seeing.
have?
I've been seeing some rainbows in Hong Kong recently because we've got this nice mix of sunny weather
That's
and then
true.
rainy weather and then sunny weather. So
That's true.
it's nice to see that.
Yeah, but I've never seen a double rainbow. Anyway, let's get into the mood of classical music. It sparks Ave Maria of GNU in the key of F, and it's usually in the key of C. So I'm going to be transposing. Well, that was a transposition.
Well done.
Is
Sorry,
this-
sorry to put you through that.
No, not at all, not at all. It's actually especially bad on my instrument because on a string instrument, I don't know whether that exists on a classical guitar or on an acoustic guitar. We've got something called a wolf note.
Yeah, like you get the harmonics of the like you get some whistling coming in, right?
Ah.
Yeah, because I've seen I think is it on violinist or double bassist where they'll put some metal contraption which negates that.
Yes, I don't have a wolf killer on me,
Right.
on my cello, because I found that it affected my sound. But I think I've seen some other wolf killer that apparently doesn't do that. But I haven't invested in it because I haven't really played the cello all that much. But yeah, so it's actually in the key. It is right on F where we played. You have that wolf. You hear that?
Ah, right.
It's like
It sounds like a vibrato almost, like.
But I'm not moving my finger.
I see.
Yeah, it goes sort of
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I made you play an F. It's actually when it's for the version which is sung. I believe singers usually do it in F. So I was hoping to get like a kind of a human voice type sound out of it, and and instead I got an animal sound of a wolf instead. No, it sounded really lovely though. It sounds absolutely lovely.
Got a machine gun sound.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, let's move on. So you're in Hong Kong to
Yeah.
do banking, and
Yes.
you've been here for more than 10 years, in fact.
Oh yes, yes. So since December 2006, and apart from the 2 years I spent in Korea, so I've got my PR here now, and I'm here settled here. I have a family here. I'm very very happy to call Hong Kong my home. I speak a bit of Cantonese and just live on the dark side, which some people can't fathom. But I love. I live actually right next to your old school, DBS. I'm on Prince Edward Road and Cardori, and that corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I walk by there quite
Whoa.
every day.
Wow, you're right at that corner.
So there's Cardori. There's the Cartery Hill, I think it's called.
Yes.
And then I'm Sky Garden, which is the one next to that.
Argyle Street or
Prince
Edward?
No, on the Prince Edward side. Prince Edward side.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
actually drive past it every single morning.
Oh, wow.
Taking my kids to school.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, you're right there.
Yeah.
So you have kids here in Hong Kong?
I'm lucky. I've got a couple of kids, 2.5 and 4 years old. They're stuck at home with cabin fever, along with most other people. But hopefully the schools and kindergartens are opening up. So yeah. But they're born. One of them was born here. One of them was born in Seoul.
Oh, I see.
Whilst I was living in Korea.
Oh, where's your wife from?
She's from Hong Kong as well.
She's from Hong Kong. She's a Hong Konger?
She's a Hong Konger, yeah. And
Ah.
so actually it's great because her parents don't speak much English, so I get to practice my bad Cantonese with them. Well, I have to by necessity. So it's good because I find it a shame when you see a lot of foreigners or expats who come here for 10, 20 years and don't really pick up the local culture or the local language. And I think if you're going to call a place your home, then why not, dig a bit into the culture and the language, which are interconnected.
Certainly, we should assimilate into a whole different culture. It's always appreciated by the locals, and it's always it gives yourself something to work towards, and it broadens your experience in a foreign culture, because you can get into a lot of more interesting things once you get beyond the touristy stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. We should carry on with the music, and let's
Going back to Brazil, yeah.
bring the tempo up a little bit.
Yeah.
Ooh, what happened to my little Bluetooth controller? Oh, anyway, I don't need that. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay. All right.
So, should we say a little bit about the piece, or?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So this next piece we're going to play is from Brazil. It's called Tico Tico, and it's actually a choro.
Brazil.
Oh yeah, Brazil. Salute to Brazil.
Yes.
So this piece Tico Tico is a famous choro. So a choro is a popular type of music, usually played quite fast and like a dance music, folk music from Brazil. So that's what we're going to play now.
Okay. Oh, that's Felix Tam.
Oh,
Hi,
Felix. Hey, Felix, how you doing?
That's our usual bandmate, right?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Felix has played with me in like at least 3 different bands. Oh yeah, no, it's great to have Felix online.
Yeah, your usual partner of crime, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. He also lives around the same neighborhood.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, we're pretty much walking distance from each other.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know this tune, Tico Tico? I know of this tune from a Cantonese canto pop singer.
Oh yeah, is there a canto version of it?
Yeah, there's like a there's like a canto version of it.
Wow.
Back in the 80s.
Oh wow.
I mean, at least that's.
I've got to find it now.
This is quite funny. Quite
Right.
funny. But nothing musically too interesting to speak of. But it's nonetheless, you know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get into the tricky piece of music. Oh, actually, before we get into that, I think we should feature you solo.
Thank you. Yes.
Right, you've got the piece.
Yeah.
Show us, and I'm gonna leave the stage so that we can have a good view of my guest today.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Soujit Ghosh.
Ghosh, yeah,
Ghosh.
yeah, exactly in between the first 2 versions you said. Thank you very much, Justin, and thank you everyone to the audience that we have logged watching live today. So, yeah, I'm going to play a solo piece for you now, and this piece is actually the reason why I started playing classical guitar. It was one of those pieces that I heard when I was about 10 or 11 years old, which after hearing that piece, I couldn't believe it was actually played on the guitar. And I needed to find a way to learn it, so I found out that it was classical guitar repertoire. So this piece is called Asturias by a Spanish composer called Isaac Albéniz, and it's very interesting because he actually composed it and performed it on the piano, but it was later on transcribed to the guitar and is now, ironically, one of the most famous classical guitar pieces that there is in the repertoire. So I'm going to play with that for you now. Thank you.
All right, you've got one audience.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ah,
No, that was lovely.
thank you.
Absolutely lovely. What was that piece called again?
It's called Asturias. So
Asturias.
Asturias is actually a province in the north of Spain.
Mm.
And Isaac Albéniz wrote a suite espagnole where each piece of music is named after a part of Spain, like Cadiz or Mallorca or Sevilla. Granada is another famous one. And actually, the interesting thing about that piece is even though it's called Asturias, which is in the north of Spain, it is really, as you may be able to tell, is influenced by flamenco, which comes from the south of Spain. So it's not always the case that the name of the piece maps the music from their region, but it's just a collection of pieces that he put together, some work, which he named after provinces in Spain.
So it doesn't really represent the music
in Asturias. Not, I believe it doesn't actually, which is quite an interesting thing about Isaac Albéniz. Yeah.
He I think I played some classical music by him as well. Can't remember what exactly it was, but anyway. So you spent some time in Spain. And
Yes.
that symbol shouldn't be there.
Yes, so even though I came to Hong Kong for my permanent stint since December 2006, I took 6 months off in 2012 to study flamenco, which I'd never studied before. I just felt the need to get immersed into something new. And I thought that actually, kind of arrogantly thought that because I was classically trained, it should be a piece of cake. And I couldn't be more wrong. I mean, flamenco is, it's very difficult, it's very intense, but also the way that the music is studied over there is completely different. Nothing is written down. So everything is just performed and then you repeat and memorized.
Wow.
But the wonderful thing about that is that they're fantastic musicians, but they have such an ear that they can hear a melody, instantly play it. And I think that's a skill that perhaps is not even taught so well today in classical music. You know, we're all taught to sight read and we're taught to play from sheet, as it were, but not that often taught to play by ear.
So, but there's always the danger of music getting lost.
Yes.
With this sort of way of transferring knowledge.
Yes.
The reason why human invented writing system is part of it is precisely for preservation of knowledge.
Absolutely.
So, do you think?
So, it's a very interesting thing with flamenco. So they're very adamant about the tradition of not writing things down. And sometimes you can't write some of it down. But where flamenco benefits from, of course, from modern technology. So you have recordings from masters from before who played traditional flamenco. And then in that culture, you'll have the people, generation after generation, family after family, who preserve the traditional flamenco music. So there's artists like Vicente Amigo, who I think we're going to play a piece from next, who's a fantastic flamenco guitarist, but he falls under the category of flamenco nuevo. So it's kind of like infusing other themes and other ideas inside that flamenco. Although he did study and perform very traditional flamenco when he was like first starting out. So I think that somewhere like there's this enduring human spirit to keep it alive amongst these key families in the south of Spain. And I saw it firsthand. It's remarkable. It's their life.
Are they open to sharing it, or they?
They are. They love to share it. There's different schools in flamenco, a bit like jazz as well. They're the purists who don't want any fusion and really want to keep it in its pure form. And there's the story behind each of the different forms within flamenco. And then you have the people who are willing to experiment a bit as well. But the purists are happy to share because it's their life. They're proud of it. It's part of the people who came to Spain. The flamenco primarily brought to Spain by the gypsies, who originally came from India, from North Rajasthan, and then through Eastern Europe, through countries like Romania, and then came to Spain. And then that's why what I found interesting is that I saw elements of Indian classical music in flamenco rhythmically. It's all based around rhythmic cycles. And this next piece, the Roma, which we're going to play, is also on a rhythmic cycle of 12, which is called a bullerius. One of the rhythmic 12 cycles called a bullerius.
I see.
And Roma itself also, it's not the Italian name of the city, Roma, but Roma is also another word for gypsy. So it's capture. It's like someone who roams, who travels.
Roams.
So Roma. So that's where the name Roma comes from.
I
So
see.
it's capturing this gypsy spirit.
Well, I have my music stand right in front of me. One of the camera isn't going to capture me because I have so much reading to do.
Sorry,
I'm determined to not get this wrong, but I'll see how far I can get. Wish me luck. I mean, it's not particularly difficult, but put into this kind of setting, it does make it somewhat challenging. But I love this song. I want to do it right, so I'm gonna be totally focused. And all right, let's do it. I love the song. I got through that. Okay, I guess, yeah. All right. Well, we've come to our last tune, but before that, I want to mention something.
We didn't talk about school, did we?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to get to. Because
we could go on for a long time about that.
We could totally go on for a long time. I always invite. I've been inviting people to come on here to play with me in a duo setting, with a connection that's beyond just music. Last week I had a pianist who came, and he went to my secondary school, and this week I have somebody who went to the same university as I did.
At the same time, I think, as well.
Not exactly at the same time, right? You matriculated...
96 to 2000.
96 to 2000, well, exactly the same
Exactly,
time.
yeah,
Exactly
I thought
the same
so.
time.
Exactly the same time, yeah.
So we crossed paths, we even mentioned... so you went to John's, right?
I was at John's, yes.
St. John's, rather St. John's.
St. John's, yeah. And you're at Queen's, right?
Yeah, St. John's is one of the biggest colleges. We're always jealous of them because they get more money, they get nicer rooms, they get more single rooms than most other colleges except for Trinity.
Except for Trinity, yeah.
Yes,
which is just ridiculously big, yeah.
Yeah, ridiculously big. And
yeah, I never got to ask you, but were you ever in Cujo, or did you do anything with Cujo at all? You know, Cambridge University Jazz Orchestra.
No, I was not.
So these are like acronyms which no one's going to know what they mean. Comes one, comes two.
Comes it spells UMS.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a word that I knew of until some time later. Anyway, I was an innocent university student.
We all were.
No, I didn't play any jazz during the university time.
Oh.
I didn't discover jazz until I graduated and I went to America.
Oh wow!
I actually studied computer science.
That's also the interesting thing I find. Like, how did you reconcile computer science with getting into music professionally full time?
Well, I was playing a lot of music while I was at Cambridge. I wasn't in comps because I was in what's called QCO.
Yeah, QCO, the chamber orchestra, right?
The chamber orchestra, which is quite hard to get into. And I was also on an instrumental award scheme.
Oh, wow.
So I sort of got into the university while...
Was there anyone from Johnson Q? I'm sure if you know... Was Graham Walker there? He was another
Graham Walker, yes,
yeah.
Yes.
I still chat to him. He's got his Classico Latino kind of Cuban classical. It's the last thing you'd expect.
Really?
Yeah, so I just look, if you check it out on Facebook, he's got Classico Latino. So he collaborated with some Cuban musicians and actually someone else who was also at John's. And now they do these kind of classical arrangements of Colombian and Cuban music. Oh. And it's like the last thing you'd expect Graham Walker to do.
Wow, that's like the other way around. We as jazz musicians, we sometimes would think of taking a classical piece of music and then turn it into sort of a jazz arrangement, and that's turning a Cuban piece of music and turn it into
it still retains the Cuban feel, but like with classical instrumentation, so playing the cello
with classical
instrumentation.
All right, so getting that time feel is good.
Yeah, for sure. Like they've got a Cuban pianist and they've got the tumbao and all that stuff.
Right. Okay.
But it's still, so I don't know if you ever overlap with Graham, although of course you know who he is, and then I'm trying to think if anyone else from QCO was in, well, we don't want to bore the audience. But
it's going to...
Yeah, we could go on forever about this stuff.
Yes. But anyway, so he went to a college called St. John's and I went to a college called Queen's, and they're quite close to each other.
They are.
We've got Claire in a way.
We've got Claire, Gonville and Keys.
Yes. And that's it.
Is Cats before Queen's as well? Or Cats
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So it was just
but even
Trinity,
Keys,
Gonville and Keys.
But even Keys is on the other side. So I think we only have Claire in between.
If you go on the backs, you'll go through Trinity, then Trinity Hall, then Keys, and then Claire a bit as well. But there are a few, I think, in between. But it's not that far.
Hang on. Really?
Yeah, I think so.
So you're closer to Magdalen.
I'm right next to Magdalen.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I got it mixed up.
Oh, you're thinking of Pembroke or something. Maybe you're thinking of...
Yes. It was Pembroke.
It's another big college. Yeah,
I used to have a girlfriend at Magdalen.
Oh, yeah, Magdalen is...
the
formal hall was strictly by candlelight. I remember that. That was Interesting, fun times.
Fun times, fun
Yeah.
times. So yeah, that's one of my connections with Soujit, and I did not know that until
I didn't know that until I looked up your Indonesian,
yeah.
and you mentioned that you're Cambridge, and then I think even though your year is there, and I was like, that was there exactly the same time.
Yeah. So we're
Small
mates.
world.
Yeah, small world. I did. I was playing classical music only when I was at Cambridge, and I played at the St John's
Mayball? Which one?
I think it wasn't last year, because last year I went to Magdalen.
Yeah, I did the white tie modelling as well. So
Yeah.
white tie every other year.
Yeah, and I think it was the 99.
Yeah.
I think it was 99.
I was doing security that year. I was like running around like chasing after people with a headpiece. It was
you're in the right uniform today.
Yeah.
You can do that again.
If your names are not on the list, you're not getting in. Oh dear, that was so much fun.
Yeah, I was playing in a string quartet, and
Oh, lovely.
yeah, I got
Out on the grass, like in front of Newport, or
I was in front of Newport, but I was under a canopy.
oh,
But
lovely.
I think it was I don't think it was a canopy. It was in a hallway, but right
Oh,
at the
yes.
entrance.
Yeah, that's
Right-
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a beautiful place.
lovely. It's
Beautiful
one of
place.
lovely Mayball.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's gonna take forever.
Yeah,
We'll
we
do
could
that
go
chat
on.
later.
Yeah, okay.
So right now you see, I'm putting my cello on my lap. That's something I learned from the UK as well.
Oh yeah.
So I started playing the cello when I was 9, and I carried on playing until until right now. But I brought my cello to the UK as well to boarding school.
Oh, cool.
I went to boarding school. Well, I was sent to boarding school because I couldn't get back into my school because I was such a terrible kid. I was terrible at everything apart from the cello. And so I was one of the more prominent cellists in my boarding school when I was 16. And there was this kid called, I think he was called Timothy. He was never a great cellist, and he's like a little bit of a slacker. He was never great on that. But he would do this. He would put his cello on his lap and play pop music with it.
Awesome.
With chords and everything. And
Awesome. I love
that was
it.
the most eye-opening thing to me as a cellist. That I was so proud of myself before, until I saw him, and I was like, I could not do that.
Yeah.
And now I can.
Excellent.
All right, let me try to play that groove with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead first here. It was a lot faster than the rehearsal.
That was a bit fun. I think probably I pumped a bit too much adrenaline into my body of the whole hour. And I was like, yeah, this is actually a little bit faster. So, well done though. That's
But
great.
anyway.
It's great to see you play the cello like that. I was not expecting that. And I was thinking, how's he going to arrange this? And I was like, wow, that's great.
That's something I learned from the UK. Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, whoever that is still online. And just want to thank you for supporting the music, supporting live music. We've got something quite good coming up next, but it's not going to be tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to be shutting down the stream and working on a new setup, new device, that a more professional device that is going to come in tomorrow. It's going to change quite a lot of things, and we absolutely look forward to upgrading our live streaming setup for something really big on Thursday, and I'm going to be announcing that very soon. But once again, thank you so much, Soujit.
Thank you for inviting me. Real pleasure.
Soujit
Ghosh.
Ghosh.
Yeah.
Just go.
That's okay. It's all good.
From
Whichever way.
Calcutta.
Yes.
Oh.
Originally.
Originally,
Originally, yes.
His family from Calcutta, but now he's based in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
He's made Hong Kong his home. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning
Goodbye.
in.
Tune back in on Thursday. We've got something good. New setup. Best quality. Thank you. Bye.